It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just wait, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Oh, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just wait, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. Oh, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just wait, it's gonna be worth it.
Hello world, welcome to the Singles Waiting Room. I am your host, JC Prophetess Bernice. You can call me JC Prophetess B. JC stands for Jesus Christ. And tonight I want to come to you with a very important message within the life and the transformation coming from the world into the kingdom of God and being totally sold out to Christ, not even really knowing who he is, what to expect, what to do, how to be, who to trust, what to know how what you heard is true, to know if what you heard is true, to, as they would say, try the spirit by the spirit. Sometimes you don't even know a spirit to try by a spirit. So you often sit in a congregation wondering, what are the messages really meaning? What is the real meaning of the messages that you're hearing? So I am your host, and in the singles ministry, what we're going to talk about tonight is you. And many times in being single, we miss the part of being single, which is not a bad thing. Being single only means that at this time, you're in a relationship with you. It just means you don't have a partner to share with. It just means that you're not obligated to another or entwined with another at this time. It's just all about you. So tonight I want to talk about you and how to form your own church before you go and looking into another church and pointing fingers and stomping your feet and looking at faults. And I want to challenge you tonight to check yourself, to be able to, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be looking at my notes that I have here because I want to stay on task. I don't want to get in the spirit and wander off from being focused on the point that I came to speak about tonight, which is to challenge you to bypass your past and what life in the world has taught you to expect out of life. Breaking down the barriers of lies and hurts that we all have accepted, adopted, and adapted to within life. And we all have done it. And it's a part of life. There is no fault. There is no that you're wrong or this person is right. There is none of that. In the beginning, you'll find a lot of tugging going on. Sometimes you are 100% for God, and sometimes you miss the things of the world. And this is all real. This is all okay. This is all normal. And how you get through it is that you have to move on and pursue whom which you are pursuing. So if you're still pursuing the things of the world, you cannot make a decision to pursue the things of Christ. You have to move forward with pursuing Christ. If you're still back and forth and don't know which way you're going, let me help you with that. You'll wind up going backwards and find yourself in the same spot over and over again, the same cycle over and over again. So for those who have backslidden, which I have myself was in a backslidden state, so I understand that, and I understand that life happens and things happen, but the things that you want and expect from God do not happen until you come fully committed and ready to move forward. Yes, there will be hurdles that you'll have to jump over, but remember, these are the hurdles that you created and that was created through you in life, the things that we allowed in through life of not knowing Christ, of not having the knowledge of what to do. So the reason that we come to Christ is to look for a better life. We don't come to point the fingers at the preacher or our sister or our brother. If we all took the time and just recognize within ourselves who we are first, when it's time to look at the person next to you, you don't even have time to be concerned about them. And so tonight I want to talk about you. And here is the theme that I have for you. And it's something for you to think about on your own time. but it will help. And if you always think about you first, then you won't have time to worry about your sister next to you, or your brother or anyone else, because once you get you straight, everything else will line up. It'll fall out of place. If it doesn't belong there, it'll fall out. So my thing to you is to say this, and we will elaborate more on another video, but for right now, let's just stay focused on this. And I want you to think about the things that I'm going to say to you tonight, which is the first message is in you. The first message is in you. The first message that you go to church to hear. You know, you go to church and you say, oh, the preacher was talking to me. I don't even know how the preacher was talking to me. That's because that message is in you. What you heard is not the same thing that the person next to you heard. So always remember that the first message that you need to hear is in you. The first praise and worship song is in you. The first member of your church is in you. The first offering is you. You are the offering. Many people complain about the monetary offering, not really recognizing that you are the offering. It has nothing to do with the monetary benefits that the church receive from your $5 or $10. Most of the people that complain about offerings don't even contribute to the offerings, or may contribute $1. And of course, every dollar counts. So I'm not taking away from what you have, but if you stop being focused on those natural things, you will be able to contribute the true offering, which is you. He wants you, not what you have, because he already have. He gave you what you have and have more to give you. He wants you. So always remember, when it comes to offering, you are also the first offering. You are the first usher. You usher yourself in. You are the first usher. So it doesn't matter who greets you at the door and who tries to turn you away. To a certain extent, I mean, these are the things that kind of, like turn you around from church, or turn you off. Rather to say, they make you don't even want to walk in the building. Oh, the usher was nasty. These are all distractions. If you look at you and focus on you and get past all of that, you'll move quickly. I had to get past it, so I'm telling you something that I've experienced. I'm not telling you something just to be saying it to you. So remember, you are the first usher. You are the first everything of the church that you create in your heart and in your head. You are the first everything of the church that you create. That's something that you need to really say to yourself, and something you need to think about. If you are the first everything of the church you create, then you should have a good church. But also, every church and or ministry requires a leader. So if you are the first everything of your church and you are the church, then who should your leader be? Jesus. And Jesus said he is the head, not the tail. So if you are the first church and Jesus is your leader, then you're on the right path. But if you're going to church and you're looking for a church when the church is in you, you're looking at the leader when the leader is above. So we are all used as vessels, but we are not Christ. We don't have the power to do what he do. So a lot of times when we initially come in, we're looking at the people and not what we should be looking at, which is what we came for. We didn't come for the pastor. We didn't come for the worship. We didn't come for the song. Yes, those are the things that keep us occupied, but your heart, you want something from God. You want to move from God in your life. The pastor can't do what God can do. The praise and worship leader can't do what God can do. The organist or the drummist, the psalmist, they can't do what God can do for you. So a lot of times we have the wrong concept because we come looking literally and it's more spiritually. And we get distracted by the literal things, the things that people do. Don't forget these people come from the same place you come from. They walked in the same door that you walked in. They may have come from different walks of life, but we all walked in on two legs, or however you got in there, two arms, however you got in there. We all enter is my point. So don't forget that. Don't be distracted by the people. And now that we recognize how a church is formed, because remember, a church is made up of people. And if you're your own church, and if you're the praise and worship team, if you're the usher, if you're the leader, if you're the head of the church, and if you come in with a good heart and a good mind, and your focus is set on God, you're forming the first church within the church. The building that is just on the land, but you are the first church. And if you keep your focus on that, you'll go a far way. You'll sit and look at people that's been in church for years, that's looking for a church that's really in them. And that's what I'm trying to say tonight, is that there are many things going on in the church today. Many things. And I can tell you myself, I love my relationship with God. But I have a better and a close relationship with God at home. Church is only a couple days of the week. You deal with life every day of the week, every second, every minute, every hour. You move through life. You have to stay connected with a God that you can call on anytime, not doing a service. And if you want the things of God, you have to do the things that's required by the God that you are calling on. So be careful when you're walking into these places and you're judging these people, or don't judge them, judge you. If you judge you first, you'll get on one accord with the God that you're looking for. But if you're looking for the people, sometimes you might be in the wrong place at the right time. So you can't even look at the place that you're in. There are times that I look back at places that I was, and I might not agree with things that I didn't even know was going on then that I know now, but I was at the wrong place at the right time to meet God. And that's what you need to know. People will tell you, oh, that church, maybe that church is that. Maybe it was that for them. But you set your heart straight on the things of God and what you want to do and where you're trying to get to, and you'll make it. This is all a part of the initial entrance into the transformation from the world to the church. Because when you come from the world, you can see many worldly things in the church. You can see the phony and the fake, for the most part. For the most part. And it kind of makes you, draw back. But I'm here to tell you, keep going. Because you don't know what God has and who he has in that place for you. He had somebody for me, and he got somebody for everybody. But I had to stick it out. I had to give up who I wanted to be, who I thought and what I thought and what I knew. A lot of things you have to give up. But initially, I don't even want to sway over there. Initially, what I came to tell you is that you are the first everything. So the preacher that you're talking about, you are the preacher. The message that you're talking about, you are the message. The usher that you're talking about, you are the usher. And if you stay with that mindset, you won't worry about what's going on around you. You'll go in there and get what you get, and you'll go home, and you will be changed. But if you conform to what's around you, you will be just like them. You will be the person that you're talking about. You would be the preacher that you despise. You would be the usher that turn up their nose and roll their eyes. You would be the praise and worship leader that come in late and do what they want to do. You would be the drummer and the organist that go and drink on Saturday and come to church on Sunday. The same one you're talking about, you will become it. So keep your focus on who you're seeking, which is the true and living God and the power of the true and living God, and not the preacher, not the offering basket. If you don't have the money, offer yourself unto God. It's what's in your heart, not what's in your hand. in Jesus' name.
It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just wait, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just wait, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be worth it.